let me ask you this. You just got married, what, 6 months ago?
Yeah.
How is that?
It's great, man. I mean, if it wasn't, I couldn't say, but yeah. No, man, my wife's a sweetheart, dude. It's been a crazy couple, shit. I've been on social media for 5 years now, and for me, it weighs in you a little bit because when your hobby becomes work, a little bit, it can weigh on you. And honestly, being out there, my personal life so much, and it's my own fault. I put it out there a lot in who I was dating throughout the years and stuff, but. When Noelle and I met, it was awesome. She's super laid back, supportive of everything I do, and just as long as I treat her well, we're golden. There's no when we just remove ourselves from not the limelight per se, but when we go to events and all that, she knows it's kind of work, and it's my obligation to hang out with the people that support our businesses and give them ample and valuable time because I just don't want to be an asshole. And then we can remove ourselves, and we're removed. We're back to just being a couple, and that's why we got married so fast. Just rock solid. Well,
the one thing I will say is, because we've been best friends 3 or 4 years now, this is the happiest I've ever seen you. This is why I wanted to bring up the relationship. How much has that changed your life as far as a business sense goes? Don't you find that it makes things easier?
Probably made me less funny because I don't have spikes in an emotion where I'm like, that shit's crazy.
No more bikini snaps now that he's married.
No,
do you get that shit a lot?
Some people, but I mean that's just kind of like the older me. I'll still do bikini snaps. I mean, shit, we did a walkthrough video where we blew a fucking chick's clothes off with a 50 cal. I mean, it's never going to be my wife's. Just kind of. That's for me. She's young and attractive and can show it off how she wants, but there'll never be an obligation to participate in that content that way. And I think that being my wife, I like her a little more reserved, and that's 100%
and not
her
being
personality.
In the video.
Yeah, she can do it in the relationship stuff, but that's what you can hire models for and other people.
And a lot of artists do it. So to this point, I just saw the new Justin Timberlake video, and he was making out with a rock star hot girl that definitely was not his wife, but it's separating that for
I'm nice enough. I will never write anything in a skit of making out with a chick.
But I can for you.
Yeah. We'll talk after the show.
In a movie, Ross wrote this graphic 27-minute sex scene.
I did say if we ever did the free
2 Wheels of Loneliness
or whatever.
Or no, janitors. Yeah.
Janitors. Yeah. She can be the daughter that gets kidnapped. That way I can go through the sex scene
with her? Yeah. Well, that's 27 minutes. Is she ready for something like that? That would be a 6-day shoot just for that. You know that, right?
Well, hey, we'll get her done. We've been practicing a lot.
Yeah. I want to ask you about Range 15. I want to ask you about the sequel. That is the question we get a ton of on Ross Patterson Revolution. Will you guys ever do a Rescue 16?
100%. Whether it's Rescue or Janitors or something along the lines with the initial cast, for the most part, I think absolutely needs to happen. But everybody from Range 15 kind of got caught up in their own endeavors. People with TV shows now, business, and all of that. And I think that let life sort itself for a couple of years,
and
then reconvene. And then I think that will make the project a lot more fun because it's not let's shit out a second one based off of the success of the first one,
right?
Not necessarily monetarily, but just viewership wise. So I'd rather wait till we have a project we all really, really care about it and make it almost a reunion. That would be fucking sweet. So I'd say probably 2 years or something.
Okay.
Especially if we can have some sort of financial backing that isn't
crowdfunded.
Yeah, crowd-based. I mean, that was awesome because we had creative control over it for the most part, but I don't want financial backing from somebody that can say yay or nay to any idea. I want us to be whatever we come up with,
and then
we're gonna fucking do.
Yeah, and then walk away from it. Yeah, because once you start getting into investors, and look, even as crazy as some of my movies are, I've dealt with it. The first one I learned. Not my mistake because it wasn't a mistake, but when it got funded, especially when it's a higher budget like that, like a Rescue 16, the investors want their fucking input into it, and and it changes your project. And I watched this movie that I loved script wise slowly get knocked down. By the end of it, the movie was unrecognizable.
Because they're either too risk averse, where they don't want to go super edgy with the content, or they feel that their opinion matters and they want to say, well, we helped write that movie just because they had the financial backing. They want to be associated with the project and say that their input somehow, impacted the project, where it's just like you don't write and you're not a filmmaker. You just have money.
Sure.
So,
You didn't really do anything.
And then when it fails, of course, it's your fault as the filmmaker.
Oh, exactly.
So.
It always is. And because some people go back to a couple films that I did and they were like, oh man, those are fucking terrible. Why did you do those? And it was just like, man, one, I didn't have any creative control on it.
Yeah.
Another one I did for money, specifically for money. And I was just like,
sometimes you gotta do it.
Yeah, sometimes that happens in a fucking career, but
nothing like Folger's got.
Yeah, so that's what it is. There was one movie where I $50,000 came from a liquor sponsor, and for that $50,000, and it was in cash. They wanted their product on screen for 4 minutes, and it was oh yeah,
that's brutal. 4 minutes is an eternity in
anything. Imagine a 4-minute sketch.
I can barely last during sex 4 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. About a liqueur. This was a liqueur, not even if it was Jim Beam or something, you could have it in every scene, or Budweiser. Yeah. This was a liqueur. I forget the name of it, but they were on set. They made sure that it was in the scenes that it was supposed to be in and everything else. But then my character had to drink it. So everybody was like, I don't understand. Like you were a really cool character in that movie, but you were drinking a liqueur throughout it. Yeah, and you can't tell people.
Liqueur.
That's exactly what it was. It was orange.
Oh, God.
It was orange.
I just went for the worst one I could think of.
And that's what it was.
Or maybe it was banana cream liqueur.
It was in like a heart-shaped glass bottle too. And it was just like, oh my God.
You're just during the scene, you're like, oh God.
I think I had to rewrite the scene to where the guy was drunk enough that he just grabbed anything behind the bar, and it happened to be this, and then was carrying it around for this scene and another scene. And you run into shit like that where you're just like, I don't really want to do that. So I understand it.
Sometimes you got to get that the paycheck, fucking rent doesn't pay itself. We all know that.
It doesn't. There was another thing when we were in Vegas together that was really interesting to me. There was a bunch of us all in a room together. It was me, you, Randy Couture, Graham Allen was in there. Forrest Whitaker was also on the show. There was a bunch of people.
Forrest Griffin.
Forrest Whitaker.
Love
to have Forrest Whitaker on the show. Forrest Griffin was on the show, but we'll get Forrest Whitaker eventually.
Yeah.
Forrest Griffin was on the show, and somebody wrote in, a bunch of people wrote in, this would be like the Expendables. If it was you in the military and you had 5 guys to do an expendable movies with, who would be your 5? I'm not in the military, so you don't have to say me out of niceness.
Oh, okay. So wait, yeah, I get a dream team of guys?
Of your guys that are all military.
Oh, man.
Because if
they all have to be military?
Yeah. And the reason being is somebody, look, a bunch of people wrote in. One person specific said, do you know how much money you would make if you made an Expendables movie for just the biggest badasses in military? And I was
then I wouldn't be in that list because I am definitely not one of the biggest
but
badasses.
In that world, though, you're massive. Who else would be with you? Clint?
Definitely Clint Romeshay. I mean, Medal of Honor recipient, and phenomenal dude. I should actually say that first because that's what's most important.
He's great.
Great guy.
Great guy.
Probably pick Tim Kennedy. He's just a bundle of life. He's a
Tim is
seasoned gentleman.
Tim
He's a fighter.
Consistently interesting. Every day in, day out, like you don't know what you're going to get in a beautiful way because he
snorts like 7 lines of life every morning.
His energy is on another fucking planet. Like I wish I had, and I have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
But Tim Kennedy's energy is incredible.
He's on it, man. Good dude too.
Dakota? I could see Dakota.
Yeah, Dakota for sure. I'm just going with all the badasses around me. I'm just gonna
Marcus Luttrell would be fun in there. He was fun to work with on Range 15.
Well, I'm gonna give a shameless plug to Tom Spooner. He's a retired absolute badass, and he runs the Warriors Heart Foundation. So I want to plug them because they do some rehab for people that have substance abuse, and they also do LEO, EMS, veterans. Anybody can go to their program. It's phenomenal, and he is a living fucking legend. So you could probably just put him and replace all of us with him, and then he saves the world, and that's totally just.
Yeah.
So
I like the pitch, and when I read that, I was like, fuck, I don't think we've ever seen that before, because they've put in, obviously veterans in movies. What was the fucking SEAL one? Act of Valor or
Act of Valor. I mean, those were all, I believe. SEALs.
They were real.
They were reserve SEALs, I believe. I might be speaking out of context, but I mean, that was the Navy essentially helped fund that. So it was a recruitment tool. I mean, God.
Right.
Brilliant.
With all of this, dude, a veteran expendable list would be, that would be an awesome fucking movie to say.
I mean, I'll be in it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
As long as I can always shoot from the hip, like Arnold back in like Commando or something.
That's your guy.
That's my dude, man.
That's your dude.
That's my dude.
That's your dude.
I didn't hear him coming. I smelled them. Like, come on, dude. It's fucking Commando, man. I could watch that shit all day.
Yeah.